Difference between the man who was killed by believing in his God and the man who died by praying and believing in his God. First, I will tell you about the man who was killed by believing in his God. Then I will tell you about the man who died by praying, by believing in his God. The man who was killed by believing in his God always believes after he is killed and lives that from past or future, if he was killed because of somebody in the time or any time when he comes to know that he was killed because of someone, and in time he comes to know about many people who lives in future or past, that because of them he was killed. Then he says he was killed because of them and continues to repeat it again and again by saying in his coming future, because of someone he was killed. So the man who was killed by believing in his God is always a wandering soul, and a wandering soul is always without peace if he does not get love or peace from anyone. And that is why he tells to many people in time or any time, wherein past or future, that he was killed by someone. And even if he lives in any future that does not exist, he will repeat the same, that he was killed because of someone, and that someone cannot be same in any time or in time which does not exist, where the man who is killed comes to know that he was killed because of someone. Now let me tell you about the man who died by praying and believing in his God. The man who dies by praying and believing in his God is always of purity, because he believes in his God truly and dies for his God. So the man will never do sin, and the man will never become bad. And even in his past or future, if he comes to know that because of someone he prayed and died, he will ignore that truth, because that truth is not true for him, and that might be just part of knowledge to him, which is not real for him. So if the man dies by praying and believing in his God, he will be only of purity, and from mind also he will not become bad in any times. But where a wandering soul can make anyone bad from mind, because he wants to take revenge. Because you can compare both the two understanding of the belief in the gods and believing in the gods, and come to know truth about them. So you can just confirm who has better understanding of revenge or of purity.